Here we are. We did it.
Hey, does it work?
We managed. Yay! Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for joining us on a wonderful little paint stream.
Yeah.
That we're going to do. For anybody who doesn't know, I mean, I don't have to introduce us. It's a stream thing, right?
I mean, sure. I'm Scott. That's Corey.
Yep.
I'm the painter. He's the talker.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm here to answer any of your questions. Good morning from Aussie. Yeah, good morning from
Oh, wow.
from America. That's
Good
pretty late.
evening.
Yeah,
Good evening from America. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so what we're going to do tonight is Scott is going to be painting here. Scott, can you show him what you're going to be painting tonight? In fact, here, we'll switch it over so that everybody can see. You're going to be painting Big Bolt and one of your other bolts, right?
Possibly, if we have time.
If we have time, yeah.
But this is the bolt that I use when they grow very big in combat.
And I will be entertaining in the meantime, hopefully. Not that you painting isn't entertaining, but I'll be answering any questions that you have. We'll be talking a little bit. We've got a few announcements tonight, like not really anything major, but there's some interesting stuff that I'm excited to talk about. Yeah, so you painted minis for the first time last week. How was it? How'd you do? Like
what did you paint?
Yeah, what did you paint? Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, I'm really excited to do a little stream tonight.
Live thing. We were going to do it on YouTube, but of course YouTube decided that we needed 24 hours before we could live stream.
Because,
why not?
Yeah, there's no reason for us not to wait 24 hours. Right. We're definitely bad people.
Mm-hmm. Terrible.
We've only put up
Terrible
50
people.
videos up on there.
More than that.
Yeah. So what paints are you using tonight, first of all?
I think I'm going to go with this gray.
Okay.
For his, for Bolt's overall body. Maybe. I don't know. I've been debating on what colors to use. Do I go classic Warforged, or do I do something special and crazy?
Yeah. Painted a Shadow Mastiff and some Kind Flayers, which are very polite mind flayers. They ask you before they insert the little leech into your brain.
Yes. Would you mind if I take over your brain?
I don't care if you did correct it. They are now Kind Flayers, and you have to do that.
You know what? I want to make a mind flayer that has like a gentleman, like a top hat, maybe on each one of the eye stalks, like a bunch of little tiny, like 10 different.
They only have 2 eyes. You're thinking Beholder. You're thinking a Gentleman
right.
Beholder.
Darn. Well, I wanted that too now. So
your next campaign is going to be nothing but politeness.
So, yes, the politest. We're going to kill you now.
Yeah. I
hope that doesn't inconvenience you too much.
Please don't worry yourself too much. It ruins the brain taste. That's cool though. I don't think I've ever. We have a Mastiff. We just don't have it painted, right?
Maybe. Yes. Somewhere.
Yeah. The Mind Flayer comes up and he's like, "Milady."
Oh look, my longsword.
My longsword.
Milady's longsword.
So typically you use contrast paints. So why are you using the regular ones tonight?
I don't think that there is any contrast paint that will do what I want.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Warforged usually have a lot of metal, so
okay.
Kind of want to go with that as well.
Oh yeah. You have to add a little bit of rusty red magic.
Yeah.
Maybe glowing a little bit beneath the surface or something.
Yeah. So
however you manage to do that.
Flip it back to the other camera
Sure.
here.
You might flip it.
And let's just flip it around.
How do I flip a camera? Again,
transform.
I will point back up to here. How dare you not plan everything ahead? So yeah, edit transform.
That's the primary cam.
Oh, whoops. That would be why.
You want to unlock it. Yeah, sorry. We're new to streaming. But you can just do 180. Ta-da!
There we go. Much better.
Perfect. Alright, so this figure has... Focus.
Focus.
So this figure has, like, some deep lines right there. I could do, like, rusty red down in the lines.
Okay.
And then do the rest of it, the metallic color that I was thinking.
Very cool. Yeah.
And then, of course, Bolt's seatbelt. It's going to be Well, pick a cool color for
Well,
the seatbelt.
I keep forgetting about Bolt's seatbelt. That's something that doesn't come up very often.
I don't.
It's always
I
there.
keep breaking chairs.
Oh, don't worry. We have plenty of sarcasm too. So let's see. My player has a magic mastiff because he's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy.
That's probably copyrighted. We can't use that.
No, it's not copyrighted. Is it a riding mastiff or is it just a companion? That's the question there. It clips. What do you mean it clips? We'll find out in a few minutes once they actually get the feed there. You want to move on to the camera a little bit more?
Sure.
There we go.
Sure.
The seatbelt. Oh yeah. Yep. That's exactly how you attach it. It does have the little clip in the front.
It does. Yeah. It's got a little clip right there.
Ooh, my
That's
favorite.
It's like a giant buckle. Maybe that's where like the magic, not power source, but like magical source, energy source is or whatever.
My favorite magic item that I gave out during this campaign is one that never got used, and it was Ceradon grabbed a potion, and it was basically a potion of save slot, where you got to drink it, and it locked you into position, or it locked you into like a save for like an hour or so. So whenever you ran around and did something, you could use a bonus action to revert back to that point in time and regain all your hit points and everything.
Kind of like spoiler territory if you haven't caught up, but remember that gauntlet? Was it that gauntlet that Ezra's sister had that kind of did the same thing?
Yep, the gauntlet did the same thing. Yeah.
Did it just have a bunch of potions of save slot in it?
Yeah, pretty much. It was just that was a Thanos gauntlet with nothing but time gems.
And you just broke them every time it used it.
Good evening, Brazil. Oh, yeah. Well, welcome. Thank you for resurrecting him. He didn't last very long, but we were really glad to have Ergoblath back for another round.
Sorry, you tried.
Yeah. Colby says that you got it wrong, but I'll let you and him fight about that in Discord for all I care. I liked the idea, so I'm sticking with it. But yeah, I think it has to be the potion of save slot that nobody ever used.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, because I gave out plenty of items that are like the bath potion that Ceradon got was really cool too. Obviously, like something as simple as the haste potion I thought was really fun. Again, wow, I give Colby a lot of items that I really like.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, he's the favorite, I guess.
I think one of my favorite moments was when Eve got Tempered Mercy, actually, because she had been like eyeing that weapon for not years, but for weeks, and saving up for it. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, you're not gonna find it in any town, but I'm gonna give it to you for free. And then when she finally got it, like the look on her face was just like, yes, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, potions of speed are actually really cool. They are like, the way that they have magic items set up obviously is hard to quantify, and I have a whole like spreadsheet, and I had to make them pretty expensive though, because otherwise it would be just like, oh, everybody just take a haste potion at the beginning of the final fight.
It's not the flail, it's Miss Snakeholes.
Miss Snakeholes, yep. Oh yeah, also, one of the items that I came up with really early on in the campaign that never got used was the Wand of Fairy Mischief.
Oh.
That Bolt has.
Yeah.
At least
I still
you
have that one.
Here, yeah, at least you still have it a little bit.
Real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, which is basically just a transportation item, right?
Yes.
It switches to people, or it teleports them, willing or unwilling kind of thing, and I was really proud of it, and I gave it to Ezra.
I always forget I have it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have it originally.
Oh.
Because I gave it or Ezra picked it up because he was the wizard, and then he...
That's right.
And then he was no longer a wizard.
So that's such a DM curse. Well, yeah, it is the DM curse, but the cool thing about being the DM is you can pretty much just pull that in whenever.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's based on your player, but you could always give it to an NPC.
Yeah.
NPCs have all the same abilities that players do. Mm-hmm. So if you really want to use a cool item, then you can definitely say like, oh, this NPC, pulls out the fairy wand and teleports him and his minions around or something.
Yeah. I think there are other campaigns that I've given out magic items for that I regret. Love the Fairy Mischief basically invented that Strixhaven warp spell. Yes, I did it first. Absolutely. They didn't come up with it years in advance and just didn't post it or anything like that. Just like
Matt Mercer watches our stream.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm pretty sure he does.
Yep. Because we've done a lot of things, and then all of a sudden it's on a Critical Role for some reason.
It's not like fantasy is just a generic thing or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think. What was I gonna say? Oh no! The other thing that that Wizard stole from me is I was gonna do the Shattered Realms in the Astral Sea and everything, and I had come up with that, and we did our first we were getting about 3 or 4 episodes before the big reveal of hey, this world is shattered, and the idea that you guys are going to be able to travel the Astral Sea, maybe on some sort of airship or something, and then they announced Spelljammer 2 episodes before.
Yeah,
and I was like.
Yep, again, copied you.
Yeah, everyone's gonna think that I'm just jumping onto the great thing, but no, I always love the Astral Sea. It's my favorite place.
It's not as cool as the Void. That's my favorite place.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a great idea, actually. Thank you, Fuzzy Squirrel. I should kill Victor. He is a little bit of a menace. I hope we're slaying the algorithm. It's a formidable foe, but you do have a D20. 13. That's lucky but unlucky, I guess. So I think one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight was the plans for season 2 a little bit. Just talking about what we're planning, where we're at. Dallin had his baby, Mr. Rogers, Ezra.
He was pregnant, if you didn't notice.
Yeah, he was pregnant for all this time. He is a seahorse. We've been keeping that a secret. Oops, sorry.
A secret.
I will secret you upside the head. But he is because we had him saying that he was going to take a break, and then Tori left the channel as well for her personal matters. I got a message from him, and he said I'd be happy to come back a little earlier than anticipated. So Dallin will be joining us in season 2. He won't be playing Ezra. He's coming back as a new character, which you guys will get to meet soon, hopefully. TM. But yeah, we're really excited to have him back.
I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, I think it's always a good idea to make sure that we have a taste tester for the snacks in case I piss somebody off. Typically, I just leave that to you.
Yeah. I do like the snacks. Poison or not.
Let's take a look at your progress here.
A very messy progress.
Yep. Looking good.
So I try to just line all the deep parts of the panel lines, and then eventually I'll get to the point where I can do the higher plates.
Yeah, he's looking a little Tron-y right now, and I like it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. That was the last version of Bolt. Kind of did the same thing. I did there was the rusty red in the grooves, kind of glowing behind the armor type of a thing. Yeah, and Tron may or may not have had an influence on that.
Yeah.
May or may not.
Yeah. How do I say that? Oh, Zispambot. Sorry. Zispambot asks if we're planning on starting season 2 with 4 players or if we're adding a surprise guest. We are just going to be sticking with 4 players. We do have plans to bring a couple of people in on some one-shots, see how they work with the group and everything. Nothing concrete yet, but we have a few potential candidates. And we hope to have maybe somebody join, or a person maybe as a special guest, or maybe come in as a permanent. It's just we just want to test the waters first to make sure they mesh well with the group before we just throw them into the deep end.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't want to pick up someone in your group that doesn't really get along with the rest of the group or some of the players in it. and really throw off the whole dynamic of everything.
Yeah. Fuzzy, don't put that kind of pressure on me by bringing in somebody like Ginny D or Matt Mercer or Laura Bailey. Vin Diesel's fine. Obviously, like,
You could do it.
If we got like an email from a famous person, a famous D&D'er, and they're like, hey, we want to come on and hang out with you guys, I would absolutely be like, yes, when can we do this? Like, let's get going on this immediately.
Yep, come over and see my tiny house and hang out with us in the red room.
Personally, I like 5. I think 5 is a really good party size. I'm perfectly okay with 4 or 6. I've done both, and they're really nice. 4 actually it's easier to balance encounters, and then 6 is just like you can throw anything at the wall and have fun with it and see what sticks.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. We have beaten the odds. We do have a regular play group. That was the meme about the D&D movie
We
coming out.
We may or may not have sacrificed someone's soul. Not our own. Those are long gone.
Well, yeah. Well, we all know that my soul belongs to Ogma and Ogma alone.
Right.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I have to talk about Ogma. So I came up with Ogma as this god emperor, kind of demigod ogre guy, and I was like, I'm super proud of the name because it sounded good, it sounded cool, it rolled off the tongue. Well, apparently there's already an Ogma in D&D. He's a god of knowledge.
Maybe
Maybe it was subconscious.
Subconscious, yeah.
But that is Ogma, and he's different than Ogma. And you know what? What it is Ogma read Ogma's name and just liked it enough, and he took it. He just took the name for himself.
There's an ancestor named Ugma.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have a lot of language.
Yep.
Kind of, ugh.
Yeah, that's what I say whenever you give me a pun.
Yep.
Ugma. Mug.
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. God of knowledge, and I didn't know. That's precisely correct.
So you are not very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So you would not worship this god of knowledge, is what you're saying.
Nope. Actually, I think my preferred D&D god is Gond, the god of the forge.
Yeah.
Although I am not very good at forging things. I probably should be like Dionysus or Bacchus or something like that, which he is my patron D&D, so yeah.
I prefer Avandra. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, she's great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, goddess of luck. Which I have none, so
yeah.
let's just be clear.
she's not been kind to you.
Yeah. I keep trying to become like paladin cleric, and she's just like, no, not a chance.
Yeah.
With those dice rolls, psh.
Scott needs a 3D printer that uses metal, then he can forge whatever. Exactly. Yep. Actually, you just got a new 3D printer, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I picked up another resin printer. So the old one can print like maybe that big, and the new one's 2.5 times bigger.
Yes.
And it's supposedly 3 times faster, something like that, 3 or 4 times faster.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
It's an unrequited love. She doesn't like you back. That's Avandra there.
I'm simping for Avandra.
I want that shirt.
I mean, a bunch of dice on it. I simp for Avandra.
I simp for Avandra. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Preston, if you're in the chat, write that down. We need that shirt made.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thank you.
Also, I wanted to go back to people talking about party size. The biggest party that I ever ran a game for was 10. And that was... Oh boy, that was a...
Was I part of that one?
Yes, you were. So basically what happened was we had our main group of 6, I think it was. 6. Yeah, we had our main group of 6 that was doing a superhero game. And it was like the 10th issue of that superhero game, and one of the players is like, "Oh, I want my husband to come in and try it out. He's been showing some interest." So I was like, "Oh, come along." And then you had like 2 of your friends ask if they could join as well. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe that's only 9 though. Yeah, so
my dog was 9, there.
Yeah, the dog was there. Sure,
the dog was there.
Yeah, so it was probably 9. But what I ended up doing is I ended up having to do this big citywide combat and then split them into 3 groups, and the initiative counts were basically like a scene here, a scene there, a scene here, a scene there. I thought it worked pretty well, but it definitely wasn't a lot of substance.
Right.
Because nobody really got to nobody really got to role play. It was more just like combat and fighting role play rather than
it was almost like 3 separate skirmish games all in one type of deal.
Yeah, and combat is slow. We come from 4th edition players, so we know all about slow combat. The more people you add to it, it is it's bad. I think we maybe start the night and get like a half hour of role play in on a boss fight night, and then 4.5 hours of combat after that, just because of the.
It was fun though.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
4th edition is my favorite edition, and I feel like anyone that says that you can't role play in 4th edition is just not trying hard enough. Really, I mean, you can role play in anything, but yes, I know they spent most of their time like focusing on the combat side of things, and I feel like they did a really good job with the rules so that the combat went not quick, but really smooth, and there was not a lot of question of what does this ability do? What is this? You know?
Yeah.
And there's pretty much like what do you call it? A situation, cure for every situation type of
deal. Exactly.
In the rule books. And then the RP part of it was just like RP.
It's just,
just do the role play
exactly.
thing.
You don't have to worry about having abilities associated with it most of the time. I do kind of like a smaller party, like 2 or 3 man. Like I would like to play a campaign like that, because that is basically making a fun dynamic. But yeah, we've had people that have attention issues in our groups that we basically had to be like, hey, I know that combat can be kind of long, but can we not be on our phone just so everybody kind of gets to experience the game together? Because it always sucks when you're giving this big grand description of what your character is doing and how they're slicing up 3 or 4 bandits, and somebody is just like, you know, and then they look up and they ask you a clarifying question. You're like, yes, I just said that 2 minutes ago.
Yeah,
you know?
or they pause combat and go, oh, hey, look at this funny meme, you know, kind of a thing. And so, I do remember we did have to put the kibosh on phones at the table, or, you know, that kind of thing.
We've got a few different rules like that. There's no phones at the table, typically. No political talk or religious talk at the table either.
We usually avoid
we just avoid that, and we just say, like, just don't bring it in here, just because it's easier in case somebody has different views, because I don't want it devolving into a big political thing or a big religious thing right before the game starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I do like 5th edition because they do have spells that aren't just combat based though.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the one thing that I missed when I was playing 4th edition, because I did play a little bit of 3.5. Not a lot, but I did play a little bit. And it very much was kind of I'm going to take spells that are combat effective rather than I'm going to take spells that are combat or utility effective, right? And you have to like the balance between those makes for a little fun.
And I do think that
wizards.
I feel like a lot of that gets kind of lost as well. There's a lot of D&D YouTubers that do a lot of the 10 best the combat spells, and you know, the best AC build and things like that. And I like to see more of the like, hey, here's how to make a skill monkey, or here's how to make a character that, you know, is really good at like social situations and stuff.
Colby's video about skill monkeys was really cool, actually. Yeah. I liked that one a whole lot. If you get caught with your phone out, your character gets struck by lightning. Typically what I would do in situations
No. You get killed by rocks, falling rocks. That's the classic one, right?
Rocks that are covered in lightning.
Yes, that shoot lightning.
No, what I would typically do is I would give people bonuses if they were on the ball ready for their turn. When combat was long and people were like, oh, I didn't realize it was my turn. It was you started your turn right up after this person goes. Great. Plus two.
Plus 2, yeah.
Plus 2 on your next roll. Or nowadays it'd be an epic dice, because I do.
Yeah, or advantage.
Yeah. That's the other thing is advantage in 4th edition was something you could just give out as like a plus 2 bonus.
Yeah.
But here it's like advantage is a make or break type of thing. Right. Like it literally is so much more effective than 4th edition.
Yeah, and that is one thing that I wish that
Galileo.
would.
Sorry, somebody said thunder and lightning, very frightening.
That's something I wish that 5th edition did do a little different, is give more bonuses that aren't just advantage or disadvantage, you know? Yeah. And I understand, like, as a DM, DMs could do that. They can just go ahead and be like, hey, add a +2 to your roll, you know, on that next thing type of a deal. I think everyone just kind of defaults to advantage because it's easier.
Yeah.
Right? But...
so one other thing, I guess we have to actually do a little bit of bad news tonight too. Players are exactly like dogs. You ring that bell, they salivate. You give them that extra D20. It works perfectly.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're going to give the news.
Yes.
I wouldn't really call it bad news.
It's not bad news. It's just something that people need to be aware of.
Yes.
Basically,
going forward,
we're going to be doing 3 weeks of episodes, and then we're going to be doing a week off. Similar to what Critical Role does, we're only copying them because it's a really good strategy. Season 1 had a lot of hiccups with the release schedule because it was so tight. We had maybe like 1 episode in the buffer if we really absolutely needed it, and it caused exactly, we do need a life. That's the reason. That is the whole reason. We just need a life.
What? Hold on. Life.
It's what normal people have.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those normal people.
Yeah, so basically what it's going to allow is it's going to help us build up a better buffer.
Yep.
So that we can just kind of like, you know, build up 3 or 4 episodes. So if we have to skip a week, it's not going to completely kill us and force us to scramble to do a one-shot, because there were, like I said, there were a couple times where we were in the middle of something and I had to be like, okay, well, we're doing a Little Hopes one-shot this week because we don't have enough people.
Someone had to go on a work vacation, or you know, their whole family was sick, or they were sick or something.
Yep. Somebody says just get another printer, Scott. Get one that can make copies of the players.
Yes.
Yeah. Then we can just keep them down here, and
as much as I absolutely love the idea of having like telekinesis or super strength or flight or something like that, the power to just like clone myself, you know, would be fantastic.
It'll be like surrogates, where you basically like you're at home and you put the little thing behind your ear and you activate your little droid here, and then we can play all together.
Right.
You know? And the other thing that we might do tentatively is on those off weeks, maybe we do something like this.
Yeah.
Because this is super easy to do. Like, well, now that we've got it all set up, like it doesn't really require too much.
Yeah, as long as you guys like it, let us know.
I agree with that. The Evil Hopes are the evil counterpart. Evil Hopes. The Little Hopes are the evil counterpart to the Wayward Watch.
I want to do an Evil Hopes campaign now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nega Hopes.
Negative Hopes.
Yeah.
The Little Despairs. Can it be the Little Despairs?
The Little Despairs, yeah. I also want to do, I don't know how many people actually watched or enjoyed our Terrordale episode with basically our Buffy the Vampire Slayer teen group. But I want to do more there as we can.
I would love to do that again. Yeah. Alan Michelson has many, many more conspiracy theories that he needs to know.
What was his bee's name?
Big B.
Big B, that's right. Yeah.
Big B. Big B, the Big B.
Oh, good. We do have one person that loved Terrordale.
Yes.
You put a P there. It's actually Pterodale now. I mean, that's a retcon, but it is PT, and then the rest of the word is as normal. But they didn't want to be associated with the word terror, so they're claiming that they're the home of the pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I do have a few fun ideas for Terrordale. Not necessarily like Halloween one-shots, but I do have some fun little ideas there that we can do too. I'm really excited. I love doing off games. I love doing one-shots just because they're a nice little break from the normal, and it allows kind of characters to grow a little bit, or not characters, but the players to stretch their legs a little bit.
Yep. I like being able to occasionally voice a different character, play a different archetype, that kind of thing.
I think your Dallin clone got out. been trapped in Scott's basement, Dylan's clone.
Which one?
This one right here. He's trying to get the word out.
I don't hear anything. You owe me rent.
Ooh, you're almost done with the season, huh? Okay, all right. You're getting into really good episodes. I think the last 2 episodes are some of my favorites. The only regret is that because Dallin had so much going on that Ezra couldn't be there for the second to last.
For all of it?
Yeah. He was only there for the last episode. That was the... Whatspot. Dallin is not the only one playing a new character this time. Colby will also be taking on a new character. Ceradon is going to be joining Eve, doing Voice of the Wild stuff, and generally just being cute little lovers together, I guess.
And menaces to society.
Menaces to public affection, right?
Yeah.
PDA.
PDA,
yeah. So he is going to be playing a new character. I've been talking with him about it, and I've been talking with Dallin about their character as well. And I'm excited. It's really cool. They both have really cool concepts, and Colby's eager to try out another one of his builds.
Eager to try to break the game that Corey makes.
Yeah. You're off screen again.
Sorry. I have to get close to focus.
Yeah. So Zispembot says, off topic, Scott, do you find your figurine patterns for the printer, or do you make them yourself?
Oh, God, I wish I could make them myself.
That would be so cool.
I first started picking up models with a guy named Miguel. MZ4250 is his username, and you can find him on Thingiverse and a couple other places. And he got permission from Wizards of the Coast to do the entire monster manual free of charge. As long as he didn't charge for him, they were like, yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm. So he went through, modeled everything, and this was 3 years ago, I think. He modeled everything, and so that was what got me to get a 3D printer, because we'd been playing tabletop games for 6 or 7 years at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And every time we wanted to do more minis, it was always, this is so expensive to go buy them, right?
I had a collection of maybe 20 or 30 minis that were a combination of Warhammer minis and some D&D stuff, and it was all just kind of like, oh, I guess this guy will be representing this tonight, and then the 3D printer stuff kind of exploded, and we were...
Yeah, so I picked up a 3D printer and a filament style one, which uses a roll of plastic, and then it extrudes it out layer by layer. And then about a year went by, and I was printing a bunch of stuff with that, mainly terrain and some really big monsters, stuff that printed really well and something like that.
Yeah. Although you did have some smaller ones that still printed pretty good.
I did have some smaller. Yeah, I was able to tune it to the point where I could print smaller ones. But then what happened is I got one of the first to market resin consumer printers, home printers for resin, and that's when I started printing like crazy. And so we've got hundreds of minis, and. Well, anyway, back to the original question. So, off topic there.
Yeah.
Miguel definitely started everything, and then it just exploded.
Yeah.
And now I have a couple Patreon memberships.
A couple?
I only have 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
Right
Yeah,
I've kind of trimmed them down, but I have 4 or 5 mini creators that's what they always do. Every month they create a whole new set of stuff, and we get a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, some really cool ones. If you want to check them out, Artisan Guild. You can actually find them. You can actually find Artisan Guild on YouTube because they post their monthly, set there every month. Cast and Play is really good. Yep. We've gotten some from the Dragon Trappers Lodge recently, and that's been really cool.
Yes.
Titan Forge, and what is the other one?
Loot Studios,
Cyberforge, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously if you are looking to get a 3D printer and looking to get started, but don't want to spend a bunch on Patreons, go to Thingiverse.
Yeah, that they have all their stuff's free on there.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really cool minis on there. There's actually a really cool one. I know Miguel has all of his on there, but Sloshbowser is the name.
Sloshbauer.
Sloshbauer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got some really cool. He did some monstrous versions of Mario. figures and other like game figures. So you got like a Goomba in there.
Yeah, he was one of the first ones to do the false Hydra.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that, which is
The
within
point.
theme.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
But I've got a bigger printer that I've got to set it up, but hopefully we can print out minis faster and faster. Way faster than I can paint them, unfortunately.
And yeah, that does include some of the terrain. A lot of the buildings that you see are actually from like a specific Kickstarter, and that's a great place to find them too. You can find a good 30 minis for $10 on Kickstarter, which is really cool.
Yeah, or more, depending on what they're doing.
Yep. B2, yes, I did bring it up with everybody. And we all kind of discussed it and thought about it, but everybody's doing their own thing right now, so we're going to pass for now. But thank you for the offer, and if we ever need to, we'll come back and we can talk with you about it, or when we're ready for it.
Keep in touch.
Yeah,
we'll definitely need to set up something. I think part of the reason we took the break was just so that we could all catch up on work, house stuff, and family stuff, and things like that. Because I know Corey and I spend couple hours each day for like 3 or 4 days a week doing editing and getting everything set up and make sure the room's good, make sure all the equipment's working,
painting and printing. And
I wanted to get a little bit of time. In fact, I'm going to do a video on the side later of kind of a walkthrough of the mini storage that I just finished building, and I think you guys might like it. It's got a whole bunch of trays, and I kind of custom built it, and that's what I've been doing this whole time.
Let's take a look. How's it looking? So you're done with all of your bronze, your coppery,
the rusty red,
and now you're working on kind of a silvery exterior.
Yeah, I just kind of picked like gunmetal.
Yeah, a little Kalon gray there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because Bolt came out of the time place. Was it time place? Man, it's been a while. But anyway, Bolt came out and had different armor on. If you remember, it was quite different. They changed it, made it like skinnier armor, not so bulky, got more confidence, that kind of thing.
Yeah, especially when you got all of your memories back, that definitely helps with the confidence when you actually know who you are. What's bought? I am half and half. I'm one or the other each week, and there's no in between. I either do an extreme amount of prep, and it shows because I will give pretty grand descriptions and I'll have like an entire town planned out, and then other times I'm just like, I had no time to work this week. We're just going with whatever. I know the broad strokes and we'll just deal with it. And I think some of the funner episodes actually come from that, where I don't have more than just kind of a general like vibe for the episode, and then you guys get to like decide what to do from there. And it's an interesting balance. I appreciate you saying that I did a great job with the last season. That's awesome to hear.
He always does a great job. He's had years of experience, especially winging it. There's been quite a few good memories from the past in old games where it was like, man, that was really freaking cool, and come to find out, Corey's just like,
yeah.
I just kind of winged it because I only had a vague sense of what I wanted to do, and it came faster than I expected.
Not to mention that there are times where I've completely prepped a session and then had it go completely wrong. One of the biggest examples is the episode where you guys are in Terrapon, and you had to like, I had this whole thing planned out where you were going to infiltrate this illegal, like, familiar fighting ring kind of thing. And you guys went in there and you kind of screwed up the plan and botched it a little bit by just like marching up and demanding to see the person in charge.
And then we went after a bunch of half giants that totally kicked our asses.
That I did not have planned at all. That might be why they kind of kicked your asses. Because I kind of went, oh, you guys are going to actually attack this giant battalion of half giants. Okay, all right, well, give me 10 minutes to figure it out. Yeah, exactly. It's what was that saying from Captain Cold? It was make the plan, forget the plan, improvise. Yeah. Yeah, but it was that was a really good episode. And then there are some episodes where I'm just like, I literally have one thing planned for this episode, but I'm also going to be I literally just go, what do you guys want to do? And somebody will say, oh, I want to go do this. And I'm like, oh, great, perfect. Let's go ahead and like explore that for a half an hour just because
let's do a shopping episode.
Yes, I do need to apologize for that. The two episodes in Salsport were meant to just be like one episode, but I was trying to stretch it out so that Dallin could come back because I didn't know if he was going to be just gone the 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of had an episode that was like an hour and a half long after we cut it down and everything. And it was literally just like a day in Salsport, and everybody was just fine and dandy. I try my best to balance RP and combats. I think I've got a few different places that I can improve on, such as I would like to be able to do more quick descriptions and kind of make them a little bit more vibrant. I know there's plenty of times where I talk to somebody or I mention something about a character and 2 or 3 people go, wait, they're a goblin? I didn't even remember that they were a goblin because I didn't really like give a good enough description beyond saying they're a goblin, you know? And then I think I could also work on my combats a little bit in not making them just like a straight up fight. I think improving them to add some like hazards in there, add some alternate methods, that kind of thing. Recently, I've been toying with a particular system to kind of help me with that, and I might talk a little bit more about that later. Just kind of, it's sort of on the back burner. We used at least a little bit of it in the final fight against Aventhi, which I thought was really cool. But
if you remember
don't give too many spoilers. We do have somebody who hasn't seen the last 2 episodes.
Plug your ears
for the next 20 seconds.
If you remember the giant pit that I fell into, or almost fell into, that was part of that. That Crow's talking about.
And it was a really cool idea that I came up with and then just kind of ran with.
Okay, unspoiler.
Yep, you're good now.
He can't hear us because
I mean, he'll hear it in his time, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, see, I do that. That's one other thing is whenever I have like a character that somebody else says, oh, I want to go find this person, and then they walk up to him and they're like, hello, what's your name? And I'm just like, oh no, I have to come up with a name. I think one time I accidentally, so it was the lion. This is a deep cut that we cut out of there, but during that scene where Eve is talking to the lion, I was like, oh, I wanted to come up with like a PH name for the lion, and I go, my name is Phallus. And then I immediately went, no, that's wrong. That is absolutely incorrect. So, yeah.
We had a good, 15-minute laugh off camera.
Yeah. So, maybe we'll share that clip someday now that I've spilled the beans on it. But, yeah, it was an interesting time. And we just ended up calling him Lionel, which is just the stupidest name for a lion, but I completely get it. I try not to do too many, references inside my games, just because I kind of want to feel like,
it's
unique, and if it ever got to any other form of entertainment, there wouldn't be any copyright issues.
Yeah, you can reference. I like referencing stuff, but maybe not directly.
Yeah. Yes, Brawl was a completely made-up character on the spot.
Brawl is one of my favorite characters,
and he is one of my favorite characters too. I absolutely love the idea because I had been thinking about an abjuration wizard that uses like Bigsby's hand or arcane hand, I guess is the generic Kirkland brand version of it. But when
made by his buddy Kirk,
I just had to come up with this random character, and I was like, okay, let's take a random memory that I had and make a jacked wizard. That sounds like fun. I was just trying to see if there's anything else right now, but
yeah.
I do. Like I said, I do need to get a sheet of names. It makes it a whole lot easier. I have a tablet open. I can just pull up the random fantasy name generator. Everybody knows hopefully what that is. Like if you search random name generator or fantasy random name generator, it'll come up. It's like it's one of the most famous websites out there for like name generation. So
yeah,
great. It is great value. Bigsby's hand.
Kroger brand, Bigsby's hand.
Kroger's hand.
Kroger's hand. Yes.
Yep, that's perfect. I love it.
Yep.
I hope that Brawl comes back one day. I actually there's a few different one-shot NPC characters that I'm like, oh, I want to bring them back in just to see like where they're at and how they're doing. I know Hug. That's one person that I'd like to catch up on.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, we need to know what happened. What has Hug been up to in the 2 years since he stayed behind?
I'll add it to the list of short stories. That
man.
That I need to write.
Make it up right now. Let's go.
Oh, right now? Okay, well, so let's see. Hug is he's not too bright, but he ends up in a town of Masochists, right? So they're not. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're uneducated because Masochism doesn't necessarily mean uneducated.
They're just simple folk.
Yeah, they're just simple
right?
folk.
They're just
yeah.
They just
and
farm.
I think
That's all they care about.
Yep, and I think Brawl can really help with farming. So he actually.
You mean Hug?
No, yeah, Hug. Sorry, I'm still thinking about Brawl apparently. But yeah, I think
it's fine. We all think about Brawl.
I think that Hug ends up integrating really well into the village, and I would say that. Like all Masochists, he actually eventually gets a match made. So he Hug gets to fall in love and have a wonderful wife and some half ogre kids, and yeah, a good little happy ending for that poor little ogre that I clapped in irons the first time you met him.
We need to meet Hug's special lady.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go out to the rest of the world, we're going right back to the Masochist community to find out. We get the wedding invitation. We're going to have a whole wedding episode.
Yep. Screw you, because I was kind of thinking about that as a beginning for season 2. Not specifically Hug, but something else. So, spoiler alert, the stupid wormhole is in effect here. Somebody says they want to know more about Helga. I don't remember Helga. Is she? Is it? And I'm a terrible DM for not remembering my NPCs. Is she the half orc woman that, or orc woman that?
She was in the brothel.
Yeah, she was the masseuse that Ezra.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, Tori's character from the 40K. No, not that one.
Not Tori's character from the 1K or 10K.
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 The 1K.
Yeah, the 1K.
We should have had a 1K celebration.
If Hug's wife's name isn't Cuddle, they're gonna riot apparently.
Or Kiss.
So, yeah, Kiss. Hug, Kiss, yeah.
Oh wait, no, sorry, we already have Kiss.
Yeah, we do
Never
have
mind.
Kiss.
My bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, you can open your ears like a little while ago. I don't know if you can actually hear me say that, but you can open your ears. Yeah, maybe one of his kids is named Cuddle. Like, he has to have, like, obviously they're not going to be, like, super grown up at this point. It's only been 2 years. But, he can have a little baby Cuddle. That's fine.
You can have just a little baby Cuddle?
Just a little baby
Cuddle.
Cuddle. As a treat, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, so that was another storyline that I came up with specifically to further the Infinite Sight path and kind of give this... I actually went it was a little inspiration from the False Hydra. Speaking of, because it was a person that was suddenly missing and nobody could remember who they were. Ooh. And I even acted to Ezra like, you should know who this is. And I think Dallin stopped me and was like, hey, do I actually know who this person is? And I say, no, you have no clue. So yeah, but it was one of those things. We're going to allow this. Apparently, we have a yes. He do. Yes, he do indeed. Yeah.
He's like Mungo.
Yep,
Is
like Mungo.
Mungo.
Yep. Oh yeah, Mungo gets all the ladies for some reason.
Yep. He gets all the tadpole.
Yep. Oh no, jeez. Oh no. Cuddle. Oh yeah, Kudl. Is that it, Fuzzy? Yeah, that's a great name. That is perfect. That's very ogre-y too. Yeah. But anyway, after the whole Infinite Sight storyline with the Time Crystal was done, not Time Crystal, Stasis Crystal.
Yes.
Time Crystals from Star Trek. Stupid name. I think what happened was he got the little coin. Ezra got the little coin to get information, or basically had this little underground network that was introduced to him, and again, like all good magic items, and
he forgot. I think he forgot about it.
It was either forgotten or actually, you guys did reference it a few times, but after a while, it just kind of fell by the wayside because you got alternate methods to what you needed, and it was never meant to be like this is a one free question, to find out about Avanthi or something like that. that was one thing that I struggled with this campaign. Actually, was Aventhi, just because I wanted there to be a big bad like in the background all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I know my party, and I know that as soon as Colby sees an enemy, it has to die.
So that actually brings up a good topic of conversation. The reason we switched to milestone, over XP. If we didn't clarify that, we switched to milestone levels instead of XP for the simple fact that it makes it so it's less kill everything.
Yeah. And it came into effect the next episode, because it was the Southport episode, and you guys got ambushed by those bandits, and you just... Ceradon just distracted them, and then you guys ran away, right?
Yeah.
And it was cool, and you still got the experience for it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Z-Spam. That is not my magic item. That is from the Griffin saddlebags, but the piggy banks are adorable and wonderful, and if you like them, you should check out the Griffin saddlebag from...
Hit Point Press?
No, it's not. It's an individual writer, so I don't think he's affiliated with anybody. But
yeah, Griffin's saddlebag.
And then to answer Fuzzy's question, he asked if you could roll a character with one race in an area, what would it be and why? And my answer is the Axtoli, because nobody's done my little axolotl race yet. I introduced them, and everybody just kind of went, "Oh, that's a cool race," and then just moved on. And didn't do anything else with it.
I think I would probably go with an Ediquathan.
Yeah, and that was the other race too that I was certain that somebody would be like, "Ooh, a shark person. Let's explore that. Let's do that." Even for like the Little Hopes game before it was
an Ediquathan female.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm.
Because the females are the more like
the
intelligent ones.
Yeah, they're more like level-headed. And
yeah, the males are very emotional and kind of brutish. And not for any fault of their own. It's just kind of that's the genetics of it, right?
The magic genetics.
Ooh, I like that. Bosco says that he would play a halfling chef bard, a former student of Ainur.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool, and I love the idea of a chef bard where all of your magic is basically in food items. Like you.
So you got to run up and like shove like, eat this pie to heal.
Exactly. Or it's just like, hey, you remember those carbs I gave you? Use them. Bardic inspiration. That's perfect. Yeah, it's one of the sharks from the Mob family. That's brilliant. Yeah, I think, and there's a couple like races, like basically when you came up with the Lede, because you were the one who came up with that for your character, the Otter People, I kind of just went, you know what? Any anthropomorphic animal exists in an area.
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
It is very magical.
Yeah, it's kind of a place it's kind of a melting pot of everything, so why not have it around? And it's very cool to be able anytime I think about a race, be like, okay, how would this family structure function? And I think most of the races that are animalistic like that, like Tabaxi and Leonin and Loxodon, all of those are very much like they kind of stick to tribal lands, right? They're a tribal structure rather than being in the city. There are a few, obviously. It's like I said, it's a big melting pot, and that happens in an apocalypse where you're just kind of like, we live with whoever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine like your world's being destroyed. Mm-hmm. Who cares? Who cares? What anyone looks like or where they live. Like everyone needs to survive, so let's all work together.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Of course I forgot. Oh, and I wanted to clarify that yes, I absolutely do think of Aneria as an apocalypse. It is a post-apocalyptic fantasy game.
Oh,
it just happens to be very light and very nice, or it was up to this point because of the barrier, right? Because the barrier was hiding everybody's memory and hiding everything. Your dog's fine, right? Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
Was kind of like keeping all of that locked away. I did describe in the beginning how it was a very light world. There wasn't a lot of like darkness in the edges. Basically, instead of it being this like pockets of light in the towns and stuff, it was just kind of like, no, it's a little bit more fantasy, but it very much is post-apocalyptic. I do come up with my puzzles myself. I take inspiration every now and then, or I will look up like, if I need a riddle or something, I will look it up. But
he'll look up puzzles to stump first graders.
Yes.
And then, it'll take us an hour to do it.
Yeah. But I do basically have oh my. Sorry. I do have kind of like a list of like ideas that I write down, and puzzles usually go on that list, and then I pull them out for certain things. Most of the time, they are way too complicated for the party to get. And
I think we all overthink it.
Yes, I think my favorite puzzle that you guys ever had to go through was the coin puzzle.
Yeah.
With the steps inside the vault of the Morai, where you're doing everything you can to try and figure out how to do this puzzle, and I'm just like, and you guys got it eventually without any help from me, which was great.
Yeah. It took us a little while though.
Yeah, so Purple Tarask said a massive empire of Anthra ants living on the other shard of Aneria. Spoiler alert. I mean, come on. Jeez.
He's gonna use it. You know that.
No, it's already written down.
Ah.
They're not ants, they're just kind of like a bug-like people, like a Thri-kreen. But yes, there is, in fact, a race of anthro people, or anthro bug-like people that live on one of the shards in what we're calling the Shattered Realm. Basically, is what we're going to name for it.
That's the name of season 2,
Yep,
right?
Yep. Name of the season 2 is Aneria, the Shattered Realm. So I guess spoiler alert there.
Realms.
Yeah. Realms. Well, I think. Oh yeah, we did say realms.
did.
Yeah, the Shattered Realms. Yep. And basically, there's about 5 or 6 other major realms that are larger and kind of have most of the landmass. But there are plenty of smaller ones that could be any number of things because I can add content later.
Yes.
They're basically like potential expansions. If you're going with the World of Warcraft idea of we'll just add something later and just say it's been there the whole time.
It was hidden by mists.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. So, somebody says, now I'm picturing Bolt doing his best Ender Wiggins impression. And, yeah, I think that's the aberrants that you guys have fought, right? Like, they are very much, they feel the most like that kind of alien race that wants to consume everything.
Bolt's going to find out later that there's a ton of people that he has fought with and ended up killing on accident without knowing about it.
Yeah.
A la Ender Wiggins style. That was a good cut. I like that.
Yeah, that was deep. How's he looking?
Fuzzy, out of focus.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the case. Looking pretty good. Looking good.
Not bad. Still gotta do the head.
He looks... You're going to hate me. He looks a little like Ultraman.
Ultraman,
Like the old Japanese Ultraman.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'll pull him up here so you can get a look, but some people probably will... Ultraman. Giraffe in a Hat, which I think is Dallin. Is that Dallin? That might be Dallin. Asked what our favorite nerd obsession outside of D&D is.
Well, okay, this is gonna take a...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it kind of does look like
Yeah,
it.
a little bit like Ultraman.
Here.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Yeah.
So, it's all, this particular word right there. Yeah, a little obsessed with it at the moment. Or, well, my whole life.
Yeah. Absolute. Yeah. Absolute obsession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Star Trek. That's my secondary... Well, that's my primary nerddom.
Yeah. And for me... it's really hard to, like, pick one single nerd obsession to be what I like the most.
You have to. You're not a true nerd if you don't.
Yeah, if I don't have my one thing. Yeah, actually, Warcraft.
Yeah.
I know Blizzard is getting a lot of flack right now, and they're not the best company currently. But the Warcraft franchise has always been my favorite franchise. Everything that they put out, from Heroes of the Storm to Hearthstone, I consume it immediately.
Yeah, StarCraft.
Yeah, StarCraft. I mean, if we want to go
Overwatch.
Blizzard, in general, yes, I do like all of them. But like the Warcraft franchise got me to where I am today creatively, and it got me where I am today roleplay wise, because I used to do the Warcraft 3 like roleplay servers that they had the custom match that you could like basically create whatever you wanted, and you like would make your own town or your own hero, and you'd wander around and talk to other people in the game and everything like that. And they kind of devolved after about like 30 minutes to an hour, where people just kind of like, oh, I have to go, and they left, and you'd have to go find another one. But that moment definitely like just jump started my creativity and just took it off to the next level. So that was I owe a lot to Warcraft 3 for that. Not enough to pay them anything. Well, I mean, other than all of the money that I pay them every year for their other games and everything.
And your subscription.
Yeah, I think building your tower on the opposite side of an area would be really cool.
On the bottom part of it.
Yeah, it was Purple Terracity would build his base on the opposite side of Flat Aneria, because it is hashtag Flat Aneria.
So I always pictured the bottom side of an area, since it was shattered, and generally this is sciencey stuff. Yeah, it would be still pretty molten. 1,000 years for that much rock would not usually be enough to cool it all off. But that means there could be some pretty cool stuff there, because there's not really an Underdark per se in
not really
in an area. So
all of the Drow live, or the bulk of them live in Terrebonne. I don't know if that's something that I ever came across.
I don't think we ever did. No.
Yeah, because I talked about it briefly, but like 3 of the noble houses in Terrebonne are run by Drow. So Drow, whatever.
All right, I need a
hashtag conical in area.
Yes. Snow cone area.
Yeah, Blizzard was the pinnacle of gaming until Activision took over, in my opinion. I think that's when they started going downhill, because you saw half of their original creative talent up and leave after that, and most of that was creative decisions or retiring because they didn't want to deal with the time frames and everything like that. Hopefully their purchase with Microsoft will allow them a little bit more leeway to do what they want, because they won't be under Activision's thumb anymore. But we'll have to see. Time will tell.
They're just a small indie company, guys.
Yeah, just a small indie.
Lost
Vikings is where it peaked, Fuzzy says.
What's the one that you can play in StarCraft 2 in the corner?
That is the Lost
Vikings? There's another one.
But no, it's the Lost Viking, but it's the Viking spaceship, like Galaga style one.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like Lost Viking 3000 or something like that.
Yeah, I thought they had a other space one too, but.
Yeah, the Lost Vikings was an SNES game. Yeah, and they had another one that was like Rocket Racing or something like that. That was really cool. You can actually, I don't know if they're still free, but if you go onto Blizzard, if you go onto, like, pull up Blizzard's launcher, you can play their old arcade games, including Lost Vikings right now. Not sponsored, but it was still pretty cool nonetheless.
Last?
I never played RuneScape, actually. But,
I did when I was 14, maybe.
Really?
And I played, I don't know, probably like 20 minutes of it and didn't understand it at all. And then just shut it off and went, oh, this is a little weird. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think when I was like 10, I played maybe like 20 minutes of Guild Wars that our cousin had up, and I didn't get it at all, so I didn't get into it.
Yeah.
And then when
World of Warcraft,
when WoW came out, I started playing, and I lost a good chunk of my teenage years to WoW. That's for sure. Thankfully, I struck a balance with it, and that balance didn't take it too seriously until I was out of high school.
Yeah.
And then I got my wife into it, and that was the end of our social life for a year and a half.
It's true.
What other media do you go to for surefire information? Fox News. Sorry. Never mind. No political.
You broke your rule.
I broke my rules. No, it's basically I watch a lot of entertainment videos. I watch on YouTube. I watch a lot of different DMs. I know. Give me that slap. I watch a lot of different DMs talk about different things, and if they actually have a cool idea, I'll go like, oh, I'll write something down, or I'll springboard off of it. I read a lot of lit RPG actually, which is a genre of like Ready Player One, where it's literature. It's a fantasy literature, but it's an RPG stats, right? Or dungeon core novels. That was kind of the inspiration behind Glitterbug and the Sanctum, the Hall of Ben Sanctum. Was basically, oh, my wife is in the chat. Hello, wife. But yeah,
Is it just someone named my wife?
Well, I mean, she's got the wife name, so yeah. So basically, I do read a lot of lit RPG, and that does help like come up with some interesting ideas and kind of springboard off. Also, going through your miniature collection.
Yeah.
Literally, I will go through and I'll be like, this is a really cool mini. I want to include it somehow. So, and I actually have to stop myself sometimes from making characters exactly like I see them in the mini and being like, oh, let's give them a little bit of variation so it's not just this person's idea that I'm stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have so many minis. So
The
many
goddess.
minis.
So Fuzzy says the goddess of the moon when referring to my wife, and that is correct. She is my moon and my stars. But yeah, my wife. No. What Preston is referring to is Casey, my wife here, actually played with us in a campaign before. If you go look for not the Bronze Battalion, but the Order of the Broken Spear on YouTube, you can find our old episodes.
All of our Twitch VODs.
Oh yeah, there's some
bad.
fun stuff there. There's poor quality, but you can get some fun entertainment out of them. But my wife played a character called Lunera, and she was a tiefling fighter, just basic like athlete fighter, just because she was like, this is my first character. I don't want to do anything too complicated, which I understand completely. And so when somebody asked like, oh, what was the moon's name? It was Eve again.
Yeah.
Tori liked to ask me character names.
Random character names.
And I hadn't thought of the name of the goddess of the moon, and I realized it. And Preston decided to just shout out Lunera as the name, and I took every little ounce of effort not to glare at him during that moment. But yeah, so she is forever the goddess of the moon in Aneria now. Do we have anything else that I wanted to announce?
I don't know.
No. I think going back to inspirations, you want some really good inspiration. Kind of just lay back a little bit, put on some music, any music, typically epic music works the best, and just like imagine a character in a situation. A lot of my different scenes and a lot of different ideas do come from like characters in like how would they play out a specific music video, right? Where they're fighting in that video. I wish I was really good at animation, and I actually want to start like practicing for drawing and animation. Like that's going to be 2023 is going to be the year where I try and maybe learn a little bit about that.
Learn how to 3D model.
Yeah. But I want to do like 2D animations so that I can do these really cool scenes that are in my head all the time, but I can't ever put out any good content for.
Yeah, one of our players, Preston, he's actually really good at art, and in fact, our like please stand by, be right back screen is all his artwork just for Tales of Aneria.
Yeah.
And we wish that we could pay him full time
to do more art.
Just do art for us.
I have so many commissions.
So cool.
I have so many commissions I want him to do. Because that's the problem with like whenever somebody's like, oh, I'm giving away a free commission or something or a free giveaway. It's like post your OC or talk about him, describe him. And I'm just like, I don't have an OC. I have like 20 OCs that I want to
start picking them.
Yeah, but I'm like, which one would be best? So Taras asks, if the sun is that god that sacrificed himself during the cracking, what's the moon? So the moon is the moon. Sorry. You might not know what it is because the bubble is still up around you, but don't worry, it's coming down. No, basically what happened is when Aneria got pulled into the astral sea, it did bring the moon with it, but it did cause havoc and destroy it. So the goddess of the moon, Lunera, like when nobody really knows what happened to her. And when the barrier fell and everybody got to see the moon for the first time, it wasn't a solid moon. It was cracked and kind of shattered, just like the rest of Aneria. So there is a moon that kind of floats around the Shattered Realms, but it is very much like...
And it is shattered itself.
Yeah, right? It is shattered itself. It's like the moon in Infinity War. Thanos brings down, where it's just kind of like, there's just like rocks and everything coming out of it everywhere. But there is important stuff that might deal with the moon in this next season.
There's also the show with Tom Cruise, sci-fi show. It's got the creepy droid. I can't remember what it's called now. Anyway, the moon is destroyed there. It's got the Tet.
Oh, Oblivion.
Yeah, Oblivion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the moon's destroyed now too.
Yeah. Bosco says, I would like to slide back out the idea for an area rock opera. There's maybe one or two people in that have good voices. Scott and I do not. So as long as you're okay with terrible voices, yes, we do want to do an all-bard
That's
party.
okay. We can just talk sing, right? That's what most...
Yeah. Actually,
somebody asked... not working today.
Somebody asked earlier... about being in the Astral Sea and having zero gravity fights. And I have not decided, maybe at least one or two, you know, like zero G is going to be very difficult just because 3D is usually hard for a 2D map to display. Or 2D plane, I should say. We need to probably get...
That's because it's flat an area. If it was round an area, it'd be okay.
Exactly, yep. It's got to all be on 2D. I think as long as you're on a ship in the Astral Sea, it is like you are subjected to that ship's gravity. But, yeah. And then as far as the moon goes, like, who knows what will happen there? I see some thoughts on it in the chat. We'll have to see. We'll just have to see.
We'll have to see as he frantically writes down... Thank you, guys. I really haven't been thinking too much about this.
Yeah. If SoundCloud rappers can mumble rap and make money, y'all can sing and get subs. Okay. Yep. You know what? Fine. Very well. I tried to do a song poetry one time for one of the recaps, and I thought it was horrible.
You did fine.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't great though. Just because I am not a singer. If I would have had more prep time. Always more prep time, I probably would have gotten Colby to sing it and just to do some accompaniment for it. Because
so I'm kind of a firm believer that every human can sing okay, right? You obviously see
the gusto of singing. Everyone can sing. Everyone can cook.
You know, you see all the really bad singers on the competitions and shows and stuff, and I think a lot of that is because they get taught a certain way, and they take that way to the extreme, way to sing, and they keep their voice really high up in their head or down in their chest or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I think most people, if they just relax and sing, like, they can sing pretty good. It's just, I don't know. I think something that humans just can do naturally. Our voice is pretty good at creating sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you did fine.
Ooh, I'll go ahead and check that out. Yeah, I actually have never watched a Dungeon Dad video, but I will check it out too.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Probably because Dungeon Dads is like a very popular D&D channel, like more popular than us.
Well, that's not much. That's not saying much.
Not too hard. Maybe we're getting bigger. We're bigger than America now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Tales of Aneria now actually comes up instead of trying to say, "Did you mean Tales of America?"
Yeah, when we first started,
which is not something that I anticipated. Also, I didn't anticipate Aneria sounding like Aneria. Yeah, that was.
I like it, but I like puns. So.
Yeah, it wasn't an intentional pun, but it's there anyway. Yeah, I actually I have been, and thankfully, like. D&D's coming out with Spelljammer, which includes a whole lot of cool astral monstrosities that I can throw at the game and at my players.
So many.
Yeah.
Some of them have already been modeled by some of the creators that I follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are the theater kids at the ToA table? Because for people who can't sing, there's a lot of show tunes around your cave. I know that Tori and I are absolutely theater kids. We both actually went to the same high school years apart, but
I went to the same high school the same year.
Same year.
Tori. Didn't even know. Didn't even know.
And we both
when
we were
started
both
playing
through the
with her.
same.
Yeah.
We were both through the same theater program, basically the advanced theater there that gets to do the plays. I know Dallin. I can't remember if Dallin was advanced theater with me as well, or if he was the year after I was gone, because I think we're like a year or two apart. But he was our sound guy at least, and he is a theater guy as well. I don't know about Preston or Colby. Colby very much is like.
So I think he was.
He does love to sing though, right?
That's true.
Yeah, he absolutely loves to sing, and Preston just loves everything. Like I don't know, like
Preston he's literally a bard. He's the closest thing to a real life bard that I know, that I personally know.
Okay, here we go. Z asked. Oh yeah, Preston did say that he's theater, show choir, all of the above. So
yeah.
Z asked, who is bro number one, Scott or Corey? We have to answer at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I am.
If you mean oldest, he's the oldest. Otherwise, number one. Let's be fair.
I have to say it, otherwise he kills my characters.
Yes.
He tries to anyway, even if I'm nice to him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I have never crit so much against another player as I do to you.
Yeah.
You literally had to get armor just to be able to survive me. And I don't do it on purpose either. It's just brother versus brother.
Yep, brother versus brother, just tons of butterflies. So many butterflies.
Yeah. That's something that I...
What do you think? So I added
let's switch over. Let's take a look.
Gave him some copper-looking gauntlets to kind of go along with. Now I want to pick. What color should I do for the belt buckle, for the seat belt, the magic seat belt?
Get some.
I'm asking chat.
Yeah.
You don't matter.
Well, you got to get something on it because right now he looks like he's wearing a diaper.
He's a barbarian.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like green. Green's not bad.
Yeah, green would be a good color.
Green.
Do you have like an emerald green or a metallic
I
green?
got some cool greens.
Yeah. Purple Terran says dark red. Formidable says red as well.
Ooh, red's not bad either, especially if I do
Bosco says hell yeah. I'm not sure if that's to red or green. Z says pink, and I agree with Z. That's what we should do.
Pink. Okay, let's do pink.
Seriously?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, alrighty then.
The people have spoken.
One
Pink is
person.
just-
One person in the DM has spoken.
The,
I guess
the people,
that's enough.
as
Yeah.
in singular. The person.
Okay. So this is your contrast paint.
Yeah.
So the cool thing for anybody who doesn't know painting too much is contrast paints they're sort of like a wash and paint all in one.
Yep.
So you can basically put it on there and it gets into like the deep recesses and adds a lot of extra depth to it without having to add
Well, I have to
additional
shade
things
and
like,
highlight and do all that other stuff. Okay, there we go. He's got a big old pink belt buckle.
What do you think about it before you go too far?
I like it.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much, Z. Sorry, everybody else. You apparently had the wrong answers for that.
It does have a. You know what I'll do?
Oh, actually.
I'll put a glossy sheen on it once I'm done. Once it's all dry, and it'll kind of make it like almost like a gem of some sort.
Gemstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and typically, like the rest of this has been acrylic painting, right? Acrylics.
Yeah.
or-
These are all acrylics.
Yeah, and that's typically what we used. And you bought these contrast paints, and they were pretty expensive to buy them all at the same time.
They were pretty pricey, yeah, but
but
they make it so I can paint really fast. I can if I'm not midstream and I'm focusing, I can usually crank out a figure in about 45 minutes or so, top to bottom, all the details and everything.
Yeah,
and it usually looks pretty good. So.
Yep. Bosco says that he can't paint; he just does pencils and markers. I can't do pencils and markers, so
Neither can I.
Yeah, to each their own. My art is sorely lacking. Your art's okay. I would say it's serviceable. I'm not going to give you too much praise, apparently.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you did the entire map of Aneria.
I did do the map.
Yeah, the map that was really awesome. So I'm gonna say yes. Your art is serviceable.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. It'll do.
It'll do.
Yeah, if you look at any of the artwork on the World Anvil site, which needs to be updated still, somebody's got to get on that. You can see all of the different like flags and everything are the ones that I've created, and they're very much just kind of like just a quick like drop shadow, or not even a drop shadow on it, but just a quick like drop in
the colors.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
It is now canon that Bolt has a pink fanny pack from the 80s.
Oh,
yes.
That is the seatbelt. It's a
yes.
It's a pink.
Yes. I was born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s, but I also grew up on 80s cartoons and stuff, so that's right up my alley.
So Purple Tarask, there's actually a couple things in Aneria that are considered sleeping titans, as it were, or at least that's the rumor around them. Malagoth Mountains is supposed to be Malagoth, a giant creature, and then Kragath's spine is also supposed to be like the spine of an actual monster. That is the rumor, at least. But we shall see indeed what Season 2 holds. Bosco loves drawing maps. That's great. I want maybe I'll commission you to do a map for one of the shards, just because I've got some ideas. But I kind of wanted to play a little bit looser with the shards as far as that goes, just so they're not as defined as an area is. Like, I do love having the map of an area.
Yeah.
But I also very much love just kind of like taking a step back and just having a general like, here's the plane. You don't have to worry too much about where everything is, and you don't have to worry about distances, which I think was a huge pain in the, well, it was a pain in the ass for me during campaign 1, was trying to figure out distances and how long everything took, and then realizing that yes, I only made an area the size of the United States width-wise, with 300 or 3,000 miles, but it takes a long time to get anywhere
by boat,
and by walking,
even
or
by
horse.
airship.
Yeah. So even until Scott's necromancer gets to them. Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess we should maybe talk about Perrin a little bit. So,
sure.
Yeah, so there was a couple hints about Perrin in Aneria. Basically, there was that one episode where you guys fought off the orcs that were trying to make an anchor point for Ogma, and they had a necromancer tied up on the other side of it that was kind of fueling the dark portal that they were using to get through.
Yeah.
Not the dark portal. That's a wild thing. That's actually, his name is Perrin, and he was Scott's character for our Curse of Strahd campaign before we started doing Aneria. And when he was done, and actually Perrin comes from the same world that
our original. So we had an original
that Bolt
game.
comes from.
Yes. Yeah.
He comes from Ferost is the name of that world, which has its own like map and everything for it. But Perrin went back home, or at least he thought he did after defeating Strahd, and he ended up. It was funny because we ended up doing like a little mock fight against a bunch of orcs to see how much a necromancer could take as far as like fighting against orcs on their own.
I had like 16. I was able to get 16 skeletons, I think, by the time.
Mm-hmm. Plus your like avatar of death, or not your avatar, your undead construct spell and everything like that. And you ended up losing, and so I asked you, I was like, canonically, is it cool if you did lose and the orcs captured you? And you said, yes, absolutely. And I was fully intending to bring Perrin in at least a little bit into an area, just to kind of like, not a tie-in for the people watching, obviously, because they have no idea, but a tie-in for you and the players to be like, oh, we know who that is, and kind of give a hint that maybe some things from outside of an area might find their way in.
Yeah, it's always nice to reference your old games and some old lore, and it doesn't have to be constant, but it's always nice to have a little fun reference here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't try to do it too often, like I said, just because I want every campaign to stand on their own, but I very much do like the idea of intermingling campaigns. And actually, when I came up with the idea of the 10K, where Colby basically asked me to just run some matches, right?
Yeah.
And not worry about anything else. And I was like, no, I'm gonna add some RP into this. I'm gonna actually like add something here more than that. And so I came up with the idea of Ogma, and I was just like, this would be a great final boss. or a great like end game kind of threat for whatever characters you guys play next.
No. That's the Devourer. That's the thing. That...
You guys should not try and fight the Devourer. You can't try and fight the Devourer. You don't even know where the Devourer is. So as far as seasons go, Season 2 is going to take the characters from level 12 to 20. That's the plan, at least for now. Obviously, if things happen, we'll kind of play it by ear. But after that, I mean, I don't really have a plan to stop. I don't know about. I mean, it's called Tales of Aneria, right? We probably should stay in the same realm, but there are other worlds that I want to explore. Maybe we do something away and then come back at some point. But right now I have the main plan for the next season, and then beyond that, I just kind of have inklings of another season beyond, because that would be fun.
I mean, you don't have it planned out for like 6 years?
I wish. No, I've got ideas, but I don't have anything concrete at this time. I thought you were saying we start at level 20 in season 2. Nope. Sorry. No, I need build up time for that personally. I'm gonna have to figure out just what I can throw at you guys as far as this goes. And it's gonna be funny because I'm throwing you guys at level 12 into, and I didn't do any dragons in the first half of Tales of Aneria, because that was the whole point, was there are no dragons in Aneria. And this next part, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kind of backload some extra dragons into here because you guys haven't fought any yet. But I'm like,
so many dragons.
Yeah, so there are some fun dragon fights coming, but I need to be like, okay, how can I really challenge them with a dragon, because players are powerful, and Colby knows how to make his characters even more powerful. So who knows what could happen? I mean, you guys work really well together strategy-wise too, which does make my job more difficult, but more fun. Yeah, exactly. I might have to bust out the homebrew. Actually, I found that the most challenging fights that I put my players up against include creatures from other monster sources, like the Tome of Beasts from Cobalt Press. Mm-hmm. Basically, whenever I've thrown one of those monsters at you, it's always been a more harrowing fight. And I don't know if it's just Cobalt Press overtunes their monsters, or if it's just that particular fight was just happened to be unlucky for you guys.
I don't know if you've done it in an area, but in the past, you've taken monsters from like 4th edition and tweaked them. Because the 4th edition, if you're a DM and you need monster ideas, like grab the 4th edition monster manuals. They have so many cool monsters, and yes, they all have to have the same monster types and names, but they have all kinds of like auras and other stuff like that 5th edition doesn't do. Mm-hmm. And so it makes them a lot harder.
Yeah, and I think there have been a few monsters that I've thrown at custom wise. The Chronal, the Aberrant Mind Render that you guys fought, the
Balthfrauth.
The Balthfrauth, yeah, because that's how it's always going to be remembered from now on. That was an adaptation of another homebrew monster that I kind of took and ran with, and that was one of the most difficult fights that you guys have ever had.
Yeah,
that was nearly a party wipe. But
I spent weeks agonizing afterwards, going, "Oh, there were so many things I could have done or should have done." And I didn't even think about it, because in my brain was panicking, like, oh, everyone's dying, what, you know. Mm-hmm. And I there was a bunch of options that playing Bolt I could have given it disadvantage, and I could have attacked it while being in the tentacles. I didn't even realize that. That was the stupidest thing. I was like, duh.
Watts asked, how hard is it to plan for Colby shenanigans? You know what? He's actually not the hardest person that I've ever had to plan for as far as games go. Just because most of the time he's got his character and it does this and it does this really well, and so I know that and I can plan around it really easily, and kind of give him his moment to shine by throwing an Ergoblath at him, for example, right? In that final fight. And it basically, boss monsters, I just have to make them multi-phase, or I have to, like, double or triple their health. Like, just because otherwise that are gone in one round, and it's no fun for anybody. The hardest player to actually plan around is Preston.
Yeah, you don't know if he's going to throw a door on the front of your big monster and block it.
I have no idea what he's going to do at any given moment, and I feel bad because there's sometimes where I just don't. Like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just like, it does this, and then later on I'm just like, oh, I could have done better than that. Like, when you guys were doing the Battle of the Bloody Fountain, and he used the cart to try and, like, run through the enemies, I should have given him a lot more than just a d6 of damage and knocked them prone. Like, that was silly. That was silly of me. It should have been a little bit better than that, you know? But yeah, Preston is definitely the hardest one to plan for, I think, just because I never know what he's going to do. And Dallin does that a little bit, too. Attacking the Baba Yaga comes to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Preston is probably the one that I have to make contingency plans for the most.
That
and I can't piss off Colby too much. He'll just crit lander me.
That makes for some of the best fights, though, and stuff. Even though it goes off the rails, it just makes it so unique and memorable. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And Purple Terrace says, at the end, we know the real monster is man. So yes, we are going to be only
Bolt does have
a
a cookbook that says how to cook man,
how to cook man, or how to cook for people, or how to cook for people.
Yeah,
the number 4.
You blow the dust off and it says 40.
Yeah. Instead. Preston, you definitely do earn the high honor of being chaos, which is the highest honor that a lover of chaos such as me can bestow. Preston is actually just a Fey figurine that came to life and you didn't notice.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense.
That's why he keeps asking for my name. You may call me the Dungeon Master, but no, you may not have my name, Preston.
Nice try. We see what you're doing. We do have to invite him into our house every time, though. That's weird.
Yeah, that is very odd. But I guess it kind of makes
vampire,
sense.
maybe?
Yeah. Half vampire, half fae. All badass.
Okay. I'm almost done.
Oh my gosh, the Love Needle. The Love Needle is one of the most... I guess infuriating is slightly items that Preston never came up with. Mostly because every time he used it, it failed. Thankfully, up until when he absolutely needed it to work during that final fight. And sorry, spoilers there. We won't get too much into it, but it absolutely is one of those things where it got used at just the perfect time, and I love it. Your Terradale character confirmed this. Yes. Ari... was it Ari? I can't remember if that was her name or if it was Ariana. I can't remember.
Either. It's been a while.
Yeah, Preston loves making his characters, and he loves including his little nods to other properties. Mr. Undanta. And he also does love giving me the most complicated and random backstories ever.
The wings, vings, rings.
It took me until like I think episode 12 or session 12 or 13 before I finally got like a really good grasp of what Preston was going for when he sent me his breakdown of the rings. I think Dallin he might still be lurking.
If you are, hi.
Hello. I think... Was there anything else that we needed to announce?
You already asked this.
Yes, but I'm asking it again, just in case there's anything else you remember. I know that we've got other things in the works. I want to get some more shorts done to answer a few other questions, like the one about Cascas and whether or not there's the whale meat is still on his ship. It's been 2 years, but there's probably still a little bit around.
It might. There's some like hidden in a corner somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think we have anything else to announce at this time. But I know we're really excited to get to. We're going to be recording our session 0 in hopefully a few weeks here, so that you guys can get to meet the new characters and get to kind of get an idea of where everybody's at. But yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
It is very ripe at this point. It's might as well be wine meat. It's been fermented.
It's like that fish. What's that fish that? It's like Scandinavian.
Night Watts, have a good evening.
Oh, thanks for joining us.
It's where they like bury it in the ground for
and they ferment it, and they actually it comes in a can, and there's a bunch of like try videos on people trying it, and it's just
I also hear that
so
peaches come in a can.
Yeah, they were put there by a man.
Yeah.
In some factory, downtown Terrebonne.
Yep. Yes, finely aged whale, indeed. Yeah.
Laughed it.
We do not have peaches for free, though. Sorry, that is one thing we don't have.
Inflation hit everyone, including Aneria.
Millions of peaches for 0.15 cents.
Peaches for 3.
Peaches for 3. Yep. Sushi for days. Ooh, yeah. Although, I don't know. So I feel bad, but I would want to try whale meat just to see how it tastes. I see polar bears eating it, and they look like they're happy. But it's
they look like they're having a ball.
Yeah. I know, like, we're supposed to be saving the whales, but yeah, I'm okay with that.
It'd be okay to try them.
I'd be okay to try it
once in a while.
If it was like this whale died and the meat's still pretty fresh.
You mean we blew this whale up with 100 tons of TNT and it rained down on everyone.
Oh boy, that's there's actually a sea shanty about that.
Oh
yeah, where they blow up a whale because they can't get it off the beach, and it's like why are there so many shanties about killing whales? That's not fun.
That's because that's what you did on the ocean back then, right? And then there's also shanties about making love to whales.
That's true.
When you're tonguing them.
That's not what they mean by tonguing.
Agree to disagree.
Well, I definitely do disagree, for sure. Fuzzy squirrel feet pics. Again,
did someone put in their...
Formidable says whatever, or Fuzzy said whatever pays the bills. For that kind of stuff, and it's like, yeah, you know what, fine. If it means more Tales of Aneria, sure, we'll start an OnlyFans. But it'll be you painting naked minis.
A bunch of nude minis.
Yes,
okay,
that's a great idea. $1 million idea right there.
Wait, isn't a nude mini just a mini without paint?
That's true. And it's very nude. Mm-hmm.
So I'm stripping minis then. I'm spending time using paint stripper and pulling the paint off of them.
Oh my gosh. Oh, did you spill?
Yep, a little bit.
All right. That would actually be hilarious. Say I strip my minis down, and it's just you grabbing like a painted mini and stripping the paint off of it.
Dunking it into paint
stripper. Let me see if there's any other questions that I had from people that I did not answer, because I did have a few that I was going to put in shorts, but we might as well answer them.
We can do both.
Yeah, we'll switch over to the paint cam as well here.
I'm just doing a wash right now. I'm trying to highlight some of the armor lines and get a little more detail out of some stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. There are strip clubs in an area. Well, they're probably like brothels.
Well, there's the brothel that Helga was at.
Yep.
Not 10K Helga, but...
Yeah, unfortunately, if anybody's ever watched our Slide Into My DMs episodes, now that Tori is off no longer with us, things are going to probably get more out of control because we're just a bunch of dudes who can't control our own humor.
She was our queen of accidental filth.
That's true. She was. Yeah.
We're the crew of purposeful filth, but she was the accidental filth, and that was some of the best ones.
Yeah.
We need to find all the supercut of it and with her permission, of course.
Yes, of course. I wanted to release that. I wanted to make I wanted to do the follow notification for Twitch, but I wanted it to be Tori's disgruntled scream that we have of hers. Yeah. Let's see. Has it already been established where exactly Kes found the base for the greatest treasure? Because when Bolt mentioned his shipmates, and I just thought how cool it would be if the greatest treasure was built off the damaged frame of Bolt's ship after it crashed and was abandoned. Unfortunately not. Kes' ship is not the greatest treasure, or the greatest treasure is not Bolt's previous ship. Actually, the mnemonic response, which is Callie's ship with the Arcanum, it basically has the frame of that ship, of Bolt's previous ship.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And if you told me, I'm sorry I didn't
Surprise!
remember. That's cool, though.
Yeah. She kept that too. Also, the crossbow, the giant crossbow that she wields.
I remember that.
That is the ballista that she shrunk down so that she could wield it. But the mnemonic response is basically the refurbished version of Bolt's ship.
That's cool.
Yep. That's why Helm never found it.
Oh, yeah. Helm the gardener.
Yeah, Helm the gardener. He likes gardening. Hawasa on Discord asked if there are fighter, ranger, paladin, and bard knife dancers in the world. Yes. So knife dancing kind of became a term of anybody who can wield a weapon using their personal magic.
Yeah,
right.
Their aura or whatever.
Because there are so many knife dancers out there, or so many members of the Eight Rings, for example, that consider themselves knife dancers, but they wield hammers or they wield like discs or needles.
I just want someone that's a knife dancer, but it's like shield dancer, like bucklers.
That was I can't remember his name. The leader of the Lapis Wing. He actually had shields. That's what he had 2 discs that flowed around him and everything.
Oh, nice.
That was the idea behind that. Yeah. Zoro from One Piece. I don't know One Piece, but I assume if he can control weapons with his mind, yeah. Oh, Chateau Morlaine. Okay, the 2 years of Chateau Morlaine that I've got to come up with here. So let's see. So first of all, I'm sure that the Wayward Watch went back and experienced the Festival at Six Hills multiple times
Bolt
in the past
definitely
few years.
would have. Yeah.
I would say that Chateau Morlaine's basically the year after the events it was sort of this recreation almost. When you pop the cap off, it made this illusory Aneria in like a bubble, and then the bubble popped, and as the bubble popped, the water that acts as the river was actually wine, and it would flow into the glasses, I would say. And then after that, we would have, I think the year after that, they kind of had this big winter year again, and they kind of just took it back a little bit of a step. And it was a very simple snake wine, basically. It's almost like snake juice, or they have that kind of snake alcohol. But this is more literal, as in it would, as you pop the cap off the bottle, it would come out and it would spiral around like a snake and flow into the glasses, just like that. So, not root beer. No, not root beer this time. Not this time. Yeah, it's always interesting coming up with a Chateau Morlaine, just because you're trying to come up with something that is unique because you want it to be unique every time, just like is described, just like I described it, where each year is supposed to be different. But then it's like, okay, now I need to remember the years so that if anybody goes, oh, I want a 1381 Chateau Morlaine, you can be like, oh, perfect, yeah. Well, that's this one. You know what it does, I'm sure a certain Onyx Wing member liked it. Yeah, Lyra definitely did enjoy her first year at the Festival of Six Hills. There was a little bit of a weird moment between Lyra, Victor, and Yenny, who was still there finishing up her degree. But it's okay. They all went knife dancing together, and that doesn't mean anything like you think it means. Yeah, I think that Chateau Morlaine might end up like doing weird bottles at some point. Like they maybe they do like a ship in a bottle wine for 1 year. Like that would be really cool, where you're like watching the ship flow through the wine.
Yeah, like it's like waves in the bottle type of thing.
Yeah, or maybe it's a So one of the years, we'll say far back, maybe about 20 years ago or something, they actually made and enchanted bottles that looked like dragons and made little glass crystalline dragons that flew around, and they had the wine inside of them. So it just kind of flew along behind you until you opened it up.
Okay, time to make a spreadsheet
or it did,
of all the wines.
It did wine breath.
Into your mouth.
Into your mouth. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's always one thing that's funny is everybody always gives Victor and Preston a hard time for like romantic things, and it's like I've never had a character that was strictly romantically overtured for him until people started mentioning it, and I was just kind of like, yeah, you know what? But I do that all the time, where I'll introduce characters and with the intention of possible love interest. I've never actually I don't really create like a love interest for an NPC most of the time.
Well, it's kind of hard as the DM too, because it's like,
yeah,
if I do this, then I have to role play it, and I really don't want to, you know.
Yeah, it's really awkward to have your brother be the charismatic sorcerer that likes to sleep around. But you didn't make yourself that. That was just
I picked that up, and
you kind of just ran with it. But yeah, it is one of those things where it's like, for me it's not too big of a deal because I'm okay playing whatever. But I think separating that and making it so it's not awkward for the other person to be like, oh, this rather large looking man is flirting with me as a character, and with a high voice, and it's like, don't worry about it. I'm just playing a character. I'm not actually flirting with you.
Don't worry about it. I don't find you attractive.
Well, I'll never say that. Well, maybe about you. Yeah, let's take a look. He's all done?
He is all done, I think, besides doing the...
Oh, I can't believe the pink. That's brilliant.
Why aren't you focusing?
It never focuses. It hasn't focused this entire time. Yeah. But yeah, that looks really cool. I like the little orange ball there is the web ball, right?
Yes, that's Bolt's mechanical like web thing that they throw out, and it explodes and does the web spell.
Very cool. I love it.
I also added a little bit of green like to the boots.
Yes, we will have to do a rotation for it, and we'll post that up on the Discord for sure.
Yep, I gave him some nice glowing blue eyes.
Yeah.
As well.
How do you feel about him?
I like him.
Good.
It's
about time. I mean, you could just make another one.
Yeah, make it for another one. But it's about time I got the big one painted, which I'm glad.
Yeah, it is about time. I was hoping that we would get that done for the final fight.
I have another one.
Oh, sorry. I'll switch back here.
I have a smaller one that
comes with an all mouse. Give me the mouse. Don't reach over me. What are you doing? This is unprofessional.
This is not a professional stream. Come on.
This is a strem, if everything.
A strem?
A strem.
Yes.
Yep. It's going to take longer than 10 seconds. You shouldn't do it.
That has no... It does not have a...
It does not have a focus.
Is it just blurry because it's got dust on the lens or something?
Kind of looks like Pepsi Man, says Purple Tarrasque. Oh my gosh. You haven't seen Pepsi Man, I don't think.
Probably not.
Let me look up. Let me grab Pepsi Man.
Yeah, so I have another version of Bolt that has the alt steel shield. I like it. Is it better than Coke Man? Is Coke Man alright?
Is Pepsi Man okay?
Is Pepsi Man okay? We don't have Coke Man. Is Pepsi Man okay?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this next season. We've already been printing some minis. I need to get you painting them. I think I might try and throw you off a little bit here. So sorry if you paint something that we don't end up using. Yeah, but I definitely want to have a few more surprises in here for you.
Coke Man is Santa Claus. Yes,
yes, he is.
Santa, the most powerful lich in D&D.
What is his phylactery?
All the elves.
Like the individual elves?
Yeah, you have to kill all the elves to kill Santa, and they're just so cute you don't want to kill them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's the perfect defense.
I'll take out the reindeer, though. Screw
It's
those
Rudolph,
guys.
It's Rudolph's nose?
Yeah.
That's phylactery?
Yes. It's the little bell on the end of his hat. Yeah. He gives you coal, and then when you like look at it and you flip it over, it says explosive runes on the bottom.
Blows up on you.
Oh yeah, the gifts. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your mistletoe is no match for my toe missile.
Oh, that's a good point. We're talking about other nerd obsessions. Both of us are extremely obsessed with Futurama.
Yeah, we watched it many times, multiple times through.
Well, sometimes maybe even. Have we ever done a watch through and then started it over immediately?
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Basically, if it's nerdy, we do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the last episode, Leela says, "You want to go around again?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure. We'll just go ahead and start it up."
Fry says it.
Fry says it. That's right. I guess we're not that obsessed
we need
with it.
we need to go watch it again. That's what we need to do.
Just an excuse to watch it. Space is really big. And then you get to the end and there's a monkey that throws barrels at you.
Yep. I actually did want to answer one more question. Or if we have a little bit of time, if anybody has any... if anybody else has any questions, but somebody on one of our comments asked if they said that they were suspicious about Glitterbug, and they asked if the war going on between the wolves and the spiders was real.
Oh.
And yes, it was actually. It came from a time before Aneria was shattered, but it very much was a real war that got pulled into this dungeon to be eternally kind of like pushed through and fought through.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, a land before time, indeed. But it is kind of an eternal back and forth. And in all of the time that Glitterbug's been running that trial, nobody's ever tried to reconcile the two sides.
I have just heard Glitterbuck.
Glitterbuck,
and that's the one antler god. The deer god
Emerald
that
Stag.
came, the Emerald Stag,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Glitterbuck. Yeah, but basically nobody had ever tried making them reconcile and trying to bring them together before. So that's why when the party does it and they leave the Hall of Ben Sanctum, the tower and kind of the area around it is being populated by spiders and wolves and wolf spiders because that's what you get when you mix them.
Sometimes a wolf falls in love with a spider. And they go AWOL, and pretty soon you have wolf spiders. Mm-hmm. But they're just wolves with 8 legs, or spiders with fur and fangs and a tail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so basically, the Hall of Ben Sanctum has changed a little bit. In fact, when Yinny and Holly went into it, it did have a completely different mission on that portion of it because Glitterbug basically released this eternal war that was going on because they had made peace, finally. So... yeah. What can we fans do to help Aneria and the whole of Aneria's crew? Yeah, liking, commenting, and subscribing obviously is one of the best ways that you can do that.
Sharing is great.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got friends that like D&D or want to watch D&D and maybe the backlog of Critical Role or something's way too big, and I think our stuff fits in pretty well with that. Plus, I think a lot of people have said that we're just kind of like just hanging out and having fun. We try not to make it overly produced, but
Preston does say yes. Buy our swim trunks. We do have Are those officially up on the merch store now, Fuzzy? Because hold the applause. Just send money.
Well,
we obviously would appreciate if you do buy merch and everything, and you want to do that. That's great. We're not going to require it or anything like that. We're not going to be, and even if we did more Twitch streams or more YouTube streams, it wouldn't be one of those things where we'd demand donations. I hate those type of streamers that do that because we just do this for fun. You guys just to get to come along for the ride.
Yeah, this was something that even if we weren't streaming, we would be playing, and we just keep talking to us, keep watching us, keep liking, commenting, subscribing, all that fun stuff.
One thing you can do is YouTube does have a clipping thing now.
Yeah, you can make clips
You
of
can make
our
clips.
favorite clips of our show.
If you have a cool
that
moment
helps,
and you
the
want to share
algorithm
it,
as well.
yeah, basically you can share that either in the Discord or wherever you want, any of your social medias, that sort
You
of
can
thing.
even clip it and post it on your YouTube if you have a. I think every account technically has a YouTube channel they can upload to.
I mean, that's kind of the sign that your popularity is growing, is when people are like sharing your content without your control, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like talking about it means it's kind of in our control, but we're not requiring you to do it. Just keep watching.
And if you're in our Discord, so Bosco Bubbles asked that, and Bosco actually drew Bolt fan art.
Oh yeah.
And I've got it framed. I posted a picture of it framed in the Discord, so if you want to see that, go in there and check it out.
Yep.
It's really cool. We love that kind of stuff. We love fan art. Anything related to Aneria, or to our sessions. If you guys want to make a song or artwork or
write a
something
short
else,
story
yeah.
about a character in an area, I'd love to read all of those. Absolutely. Oh, that was the other thing that I wanted to announce. Prior to the release of episode 1 of Tales of Aneria, there are going to be a series of, I think I have 8 short stories that are going to be releasing throughout the week, maybe week and a half before. So, and each of them will be dealing with a different potentially meaningful, not character, but place where the party is going to end up. Specifically, some of the Shattered Realms they might go to, a few things dealing with Aneria itself. So keep an eye out on those. We'll announce them on the Discord, obviously, there so as well. So if you keep an eye there, I love writing. It is one of my passions beyond D&D. So if you guys do want to check out some things that I've already written, there is a short story section in the Tales of Aneria Discord that goes through a couple side character things. Mash, we talk about Mash a little bit there. So yeah, and we love you guys, absolutely. Preston's correct. We absolutely love everything that you guys do to make our
this
lives
is a
easier.
great community, great community of players and viewers, and yeah, you guys have treated us really well, and it keeps us going. Honestly, there have been quite a few times where someone in the group has expressed something about I feel like I'm not, I don't want to spend all this time playing, and then we start getting comments from you guys, and it's like, okay, yep, we're still playing because this is awesome.
There have been some times where I will get I'll see a response after
a weekend of editing.
After a weekend of editing and being absolutely tired, where I'll get a response that's just kind of like, I love you guys, thanks for being awesome, thanks for helping me through, getting to work and going back, that kind of thing, and it means the world to me, and I know it means the world to the rest of everybody else too, but it's wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You made this stream a huge success. I absolutely love all of you guys coming here and just chatting with us tonight, helping us watch as Giant Bolt gets created. We want to do more of this. If you guys like it, let us know, like in the Discord. Let us know that was a great stream, and we'll be posting the VOD for the full thing. Probably in a couple days.
It'll be a couple days on YouTube.
Yep, and we'll just keep it raw so that if you missed something and you want to go back and see it, or again if you want to share it because you thought that we were entertaining, do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, okay. Well, my wife said we have to do it again, so
that's
absolutely
permission for you. So.
Permission granted. We're off to the races. I think next week we may be doing another stream, but it might be a bit different. We need to talk about that with some of the members here and find out what's going on. But we do have content planned in the meantime while we're working to get towards season 2, and I'm really excited about it. I want to tell you guys so much stuff about all the different realms, but I'm keeping it to myself because I don't want to spoil too much. But yeah, those short stories are going to be my outlet for that, so be sure to check those out.
And you guys have an excellent weekend. Good rest of the nights.
Yeah.
And thank you again. We'll have to do it another time.
Yeah. All right, guys. Good night. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend to you too. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Keep on gaming.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's not a recording.
You gotta stop.